Students of class 12, a very good morning to you. Hope you are all very busy in learning the first 3 chapters. For your information, we have completed 4 chapters, out of which for your portions only 3 chapters are there. What are the chapters you know? Chapter 1, chapter 2 and chapter 5. These are the 3 chapters that you are going to write for your examination. Blueprint I have given you. Total you are going to write for 90 marks. So we will step into our 5th chapter. We have already completed 4 chapters. Now we are in 5th chapter. That is, we will take chapter number 6 as our 5th chapter. We will see chapter 6 now. Totally 4 we have completed already. This is the 5th one. Okay, the name of the chapter is Applications of Vector Algebra. Applications of Vector Algebra. This is going to be easy chapter for you because we have the basics of this in your 11th standard itself. 11th standard itself we have completed this topic called vector algebra, right? So just continuation of that we are going to see here. So basics I think you know, so we can easily travel here. Okay, we will just recollect few things before we go to the problem section. We will first recollect what are the things that we have already know. Out of which the first one is scalar product and vector product. This is the first heading that we are going to see. This we have already seen in our 11th standard also. So given two vectors, A vector and B vector. These are all components of A vector. This is I component, J component, K component. So any vector can be written in this format. We can split a vector and write in 3 components, right? A1i plus A2j plus A3k, where I is the unit vector along x-axis, J vector is the unit vector along y-axis, K vector is unit vector along z-axis. These things we know. And B vector is another vector. So again we are writing that as a 3 components, B1, B2, B3 in x direction, y direction, z direction. Then the dot product A vector dot B vector is given by the formula A vector dot B vector. This is called scalar product, or otherwise called as dot product. This is called scalar product, otherwise called as dot product. How to find dot product? I should be combined with I, J should be combined with J, K should be combined with K. So if we do like that, what happens? I combines with I. We know very well I dot I is 1. So just coefficients will get multiplied. A1 into B1. That is what is written here. A1, B1. J combined with J. J dot J is 1. So coefficient just multiply A2 into B2. Similarly A3 into B3. This is how we find out dot product. This is called scalar product, or otherwise called as what? Scalar product, or otherwise it can be called as what product? Dot product. Either I can call that as scalar product, or it is also called as dot product. Next we will see what is A cross B. How I am reading this? A vector cross B vector can be found out using determinant method. First row should be filled with I vector, J vector, K vector. Second row, see A vector. What is A vector? A1i plus A2j plus A3k. So take that coefficients alone and write it in the second row. Similarly, B vector. See what is B vector? Take those coefficients and write in the third row. So this is how we will calculate A vector cross B vector in determinant form. So this is called vector product. This is called vector product. Note, A vector dot C, A vector dot B vector, how to calculate we already seen. Now this is the formula for A vector dot B vector. Formula for A vector dot B vector is nothing but modulus A vector modulus B vector cos theta, where this theta is nothing but angle between A vector and B vector. Again I repeat, this is also we have already learnt just we are recollecting, a vector dot b vector can be written as modulus a vector modulus b vector cos theta, where theta is the angle between a vector and b vector. Similarly, the formula for a vector cross b vector is given by modulus a vector modulus b vector sin theta. Here it is cos theta. Dot product means cos theta. Cross product means sin theta into n cap. What is this n cap? N cap is a unit vector perpendicular to both a vector and b vector. N cap is nothing but a unit vector which is perpendicular to both a vector and b vector. Again, this is the formula we know already. So just we are recollecting all the formulas that we already know. So this is a dot b formula, this is a cross b formula. We will see few more points now. Note number 3. A vector dot b vector equal to 0. If the dot product is 0, then we can say those two vectors are perpendicular. Listen carefully. When the dot product is 0, those two vectors are perpendicular. The next thing, when the cross product becomes 0, that is when a cross b equal to 0, then those two vectors are parallel. When the cross product is 0, vectors are parallel. Dot product 0, the vectors are perpendicular. Note 5 says a dot b and b dot a are equal, both are same. If I calculate a dot b or even if I calculate b dot a, answer will be the same. Point number 6, a cross b and b cross a are not equal, they differ in sign. Even I can put a bracket and show here. A cross b and b cross a are not equal, but they are of opposite symbol. A cross b can be written as minus of b cross a. And the other formula is formula for work done. We can calculate work done using vector formula, that is W is equal to F vector dot D vector. This is called work done formula. F vector means force vector, D vector means displacement vector. Similarly, torque or moment, both are same. Torque or moment, the formula is given by M vector is equal to R vector cross F vector. So this is the formula for moment or torque. Right. So we should know all these formulas. So with this knowledge, we will enter into the problems. Problem number 1. A particle acted on by constant forces. This is first force and another force was given. Is displaced from the point 1, 2, 3 to the point 5, 4, 1. What the question says, a particle is moved from this point to this point using these two forces. Again I repeat, a particle acted on by constant forces, plural form. These two are called forces. The particle is displaced from this point to this point. Find the work done by the forces. Question is very simple. So we know the formula for work done. W is equal to F vector cross D vector. So we will write first we will try to write what is F vector. Since we have two forces, we should add those two, F1 vector plus F2 vector. So add these two forces and write the answer here. 8i plus 6i, 14i, 2j plus 2j, 4j, minus 6k, minus 2k, minus 8k. So this is nothing but F vector. I said D vector means displacement vector. Displacement means the particle is moved from the point A to point B, right? Suppose if this is the point A and this is the point B. Actually the particle was here. When the force is applied at this point, the particle moves from this point to this point. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point. This is called displacement. Displacement means shortest distance from A to B. So D vector is nothing but AB vector. This vector is called displacement vector. So that we have to calculate. AB vector. What is the formula for AB vector? OB vector minus OA vector. So you write OB vector. What is OB vector? The final position. What is the final position? 5, 4, 1. So I should write as 5i plus 4j plus 1k minus OA vector, what is the meaning? The position vector of the initial point. 1, 2, 3 is the initial point. So 1i plus 2j plus 3k. Subtract these two and write the answer. That is called D vector. How to subtract? 5i minus I, 4i. J with j, k with k. Write the answer. So now we know F vector as well as D vector. So write the formula for work done. W is equal to F vector dot D vector. First bracket I have written force vector. Second bracket I have written the displacement vector answer. How to dot product we have seen in the, just now we have seen. How to make a dot product? Just combine I with I. So just multiply the coefficient. 14 into 4, 56. J with j, 4 into 2, 8. K with k, minus 8 into minus 2 plus 16. So adding all these three, the answer is 80 units. So this is how we will calculate work done, right? Moving on for the second sum. Question number 2. Find the magnitude and direction cosines. Find the magnitude and direction cosines of the torque. The other name of torque is moment of a force represented by a vector was given about the point with position vector, this vector, acting through a point whose position vector is another vector. So by reading the question we can understand one thing. We need to find magnitude and direction cosine of the torque. What is the question? We need to find magnitude and direction cosines of the torque. The force vector was given, and another information given was about the point whose position vector is this, acting through a point whose position vector is another vector was given. So how to do this sum? First, what is given? This is called force vector because of a force represented by this. So this is taken as F vector. Here only one force was given, so F vector is taken that. We should take that as F vector. 3i plus 4j minus 5k. Now if you see the formula for a moment or torque, the formula is R vector cross F vector, right? In note we have seen all the formulas. Moment or otherwise called as torque is given by the formula m vector is equal to R vector cross F vector, out of which we know F vector. Now to calculate R vector, this we should remember. Or how to calculate R vector means at the point minus about the point. We should subtract these two, as in the case of work done. Displacement is calculated as AB vector. Here R should be calculated as at the point minus about the point. Sometimes at the point can be replaced through by the word through the point. So through the point or at the point minus about the point, which means R vector is equal to, now see it is given in the question, about the point with the position vector this and through a point. So through the point should come first. Through a point whose position vector is 4i plus 2j minus 3k. So it comes first. Minus about the point. See, about the point with the position vector this. So this should come second. So by calculating, by subtracting these two, we will get this answer. So we will write the formula now. M vector is equal to R vector cross F vector. R cross F, cross product can be calculated using determinant. So put determinant in the first row ijk, second row see what is R vector, 2i plus 5j minus 7k. So 2, 5 minus 7. F vector 3, 4 minus 5. So write that in the third row and expand the determinant. You know very well how to expand the determinant. So I into, just cross multiply like this. This is plus minus plus, you know very well. So minus j vector, cross multiply this and this, plus k vector into, leave this column and this row, cross multiply these two. So it comes like this. Finally we get m vector as this. 28 minus 25, 3i. Here if you simplify, 11 will come. So minus 11j. Minus 7 will come. So minus 7k vector. Actually what we have found out now, m vector. What is m vector? Torque. what they are asking is not only torque, what they are asking is find the magnitude and direction cosines. So next we have to find the magnitude and the direction cosine. Magnitude means the length of this vector. This is m vector, this is torque. Magnitude of torque means I should find the length of this vector. How to find the length of the vector? Root of coefficient square. So if I square this, what will come? 9. If I square this, 121. If I square this, 49. Everything should be written in the root. That is how we will calculate magnitude or length. So if you see this magnitude of torque, which means modulus of m vector, how to calculate the length? Just now I said, so root of coefficient square. Add all these things, you will get 179. This is called magnitude of the torque. So one we found out. What is the other question? Direction cosines of the torque. The meaning of direction cosine is we should find modulus that we have found out. What is actually torque value? M vector is equal to, can you tell what is M vector? Just now we found out M vector, right? M vector value is, so just I'll write M vector is equal to 3i minus 11j minus 7k vector. This is nothing but moment or torque. We found out that. For this only, for this we found out the magnitude here or modulus here, length here. So 3 square is 9, 11 square is 121, minus 7 whole square is 49. So we get this. Direction cosine means you take the coefficient 3 divided by this number. So 3 by root 179. Take j coefficient, divide it with modulus. Take k coefficient, divide it with modulus. This set is called direction cosine. So we found out direction cosines of the torque. So we found out both magnitude of torque and direction cosines of the torque. We will move for the third sum. Prove by vector method that an angle in a semicircle is a right angle. Question is very direct here. We should use vector method and we have to prove angle in a semicircle is a right angle. So if you see the diagram, you just assume this as a semicircle. It doesn't look like semicircle, but you imagine that this is a semicircle. What actually we need to prove is angle in a semicircle. So I have to create an angle in a semicircle, for which I should take a point P on the circumference of this circle. So in the circumference of this circle, take a point P and connect the point P with both the ends A and B. The angle created here will be 90 degree. That is what we have to prove. If you ask me a question, sir, should I choose the point P here only? No. Your wish. You can choose anywhere at on the circumference of this semicircle. Anywhere on the circumference of this. Even if I can choose the point P here, then I should connect A with this and I should connect P with B. Then that angle should also be 90 degree. So in general, we need to prove that angle in a semicircle is a right angle. So I have taken a arbitrary point P on the circumference of the circle and connecting is that point P with both the ends A and B. O is nothing but center of the circle and joining this also. So what is OA? OA is radius. What is OB? OB is also radius. OP is also radius, because from center we are drawing all the lines. So those three are called radius. Okay, what I have to prove now? Angle is a right angle. You know very well right angle means 90 degree. So I need to prove this AP and PB are perpendicular. Then only the angle will be 90 degree. I need to prove what? AP, the line AP and the line PB are at right angles. Then only the angle will be 90 degree. So to prove AP vector is perpendicular to PB vector. That is what I have to prove. So for that, first I am finding out AP vector. You know very well AP vector can be written as OP vector minus OA vector. Now I am going to see the diagram. OP vector I have written. Minus OA vector is present. What is OA vector? This, right? Even if I'll just put an arrow mark and show you. This is called OA vector in this direction. What is OB vector? it goes in opposite direction, right? OA vector is in one direction, OB vector is in opposite direction. So what I'm doing, taking this OA out, but magnitude wise they are radius. This is also radius, this is also radius. So I can say OA is equal to OB, but while telling in vector, the direction differs. So minus OA can be written as plus OB. Minus OA can be written as plus OB. Understand? OA vector can be written as minus OB vector. That also I'll show it. I'll write here OA vector from the diagram. OA vector can be written as, actually OA vector and OB are equal, they are radius. Since vector is in opposite direction, I should put minus symbol. OA equal to minus OB. So you just write, instead of minus O, if you put minus here, I should use plus here, right? So minus OA is replaced by OB. So this is first equation. So I've calculated AP now. Next I am going to find out what is PB vector. PB vector, how to split? OB vector minus OP vector. So this is taken as second equation. I am just making a scalar product for these two, AP dot PB. So writing AP value here. While writing C, I have changed the order because plus symbol is present. I can put anything first. So OB plus OP dot PB value is OB minus OP. So A plus B, A minus B, A square minus B square. OB vector square minus OP vector square. But OB vector square and OP vector square are equal, because if I calculate OB vector square, I will be getting radius square. If I calculate OB vector square, what is OB vector? Radius. OB vector square means radius square. What is OP vector square? OP is also radius. So OP square is also radius square. So radius square minus radius square, answer is 0. Since the dot product is 0, what we learnt? If dot product is 0, those two vectors are perpendicular. So AP vector is perpendicular to PB vector. What is the meaning? This is AP vector, this is PB vector. Since these two are perpendicular, the angle will be 90 degree, right? So we are writing, hence angle in a semicircle, hence angle in a semicircle is a right angle. So we are completing the proof here. We will go for the fourth sum. Question number 4. Prove by vector method that the parallelograms on the same base and between the same parallels are equal in area. Again, this is a sum we have to prove. Prove by vector method that the parallelograms on the same base. See the diagram. ABCD is a parallelogram. ABCD is a parallelogram. ABC''D' is another parallelogram. So you should able to see two parallelograms in the diagram, but both the parallelograms are having the same base. AB is the base. AB is the base for the two parallelograms. What is the name of first parallelogram? ABCD. Second one is ABC''D'. This is the second one. What we have to prove? They are having equal area. That is what we need to prove. So to prove area of parallelogram ABCD and area of parallelogram ABC''D' are equal in area. Okay, now we will start with LHS. LHS is nothing but area of parallelogram ABCD. Actually, what we know for area, formula for area of parallelogram, 11th standard we have studied. Area of parallelogram means, if I just draw a diagram here, if this is a parallelogram ABCD, this is just a rough diagram, ABCD, then the area formula is AB vector cross BC vector. I should take adjacent sides and make a cross product of it. That is called area of parallelogram. AB vector cross BC vector. Example. So modulus of AB vector cross BC vector is nothing but area of parallelogram formula. If this is a parallelogram, AB vector cross BC vector, if I use modulus, then that becomes area of this parallelogram. Similarly, in LHS, we are taking area of parallelogram ABCD. So this is ABCD. CD. In this parallelogram, I am writing the formula modulus of AB vector cross BC vector. AB vector cross BC vector. Now AB vector cross BC vector. What is BC vector? This is BC vector, right? So BC vector can be written as BC dash vector plus C dash C vector. You can understand by seeing the diagram. BC vector can be written as BC dash vector plus C dash C vector. BC dash plus C dash C. That is what is written here. Now take this AB inside the bracket. Taking AB inside this bracket, we are getting the next step. So AB cross BC dash plus AB cross C dash C, out of which this is written as it is, plus, if you see the diagram, AB is present here, AB is present here, C dash C is present here, which means that is also like this, they are parallel. AB and C dash C are parallel. Just try to understand. AB and C dash C are parallel. So when we cross multiply parallel vectors, the answer is 0. Sorry, not cross multiply, I am sorry. When we take scalar product of two parallel, sorry, again I am committed a mistake. When we take cross product for two parallel vectors, the answer is 0. Why the answer is 0 here? Why this is 0 here? Because what is the reason? Since AB vector is parallel to C dash C vector. Since they are parallel, since these two are parallel, the cross product of those two becomes 0. So only this term alone remains. Now if you see the diagram, AB vector is nothing but this, AB vector cross BC dash vector. BC dash vector is nothing but this dotted lines. AB vector cross BC dash vector. What is the meaning? It is nothing but area of the parallelogram AB C dash D dash. AB C dash D dash. So this parallelogram area we got. Where we started with area of the original parallelogram. Now what we obtained, it is equal to area of this parallelogram. So which means both the areas are equal. So we proved the result. Passing on for problem number 5. Problem number 5, important sum. Using vector method, prove that cos alpha minus beta is equal to cos alpha cos beta plus sin alpha sin beta. This is a trigonometric formula actually. Actually we should prove that using vector method. So first what we have to do is draw a unit circle. Unit circle in the sense circle of radius 1 unit. So this is a circle. Take 2 points P and Q on the unit circle. First you should understand the diagram carefully, then only you can able to understand this problem. Draw a unit circle, take P and Q 2 points on the unit circle in the first quadrant and join P with O and Q with O. So first you will draw this line, after that you will draw this line. First circle, x-axis, y-axis. Take 2 points P and Q, connect OP, connect OQ. This line OP makes an angle alpha with x-axis. This line OP makes an angle alpha with x-axis. Therefore, this point P becomes cos alpha, sin alpha. Similarly, the line OQ makes an angle beta. Observe the diagram carefully. The line OQ makes an angle beta with x-axis. Therefore, the point Q becomes cos beta, sin beta. Then we are drawing a perpendicular from P and perpendicular from Q, which meets the x-axis at L and M. I vector is the unit vector taken along x-axis. J vector is the unit vector taken along y-axis. So again I repeat the diagram. First unit circle, x-axis, y-axis, center is O. Take 2 points P and Q on the unit circle, connect OP and OQ. OP makes angle alpha with x-axis, therefore P is the point cos alpha sin alpha. OQ is a line which makes angle beta with x-axis, therefore the point Q becomes cos beta, sin beta. Draw perpendicular lines from P to x-axis, Q to x-axis, which meets x-axis at L and M respectively. I and J are nothing but unit vectors along x-axis and y-axis respectively. So from the diagram, we are going to see what is OP vector. OP vector can be written as OL vector plus LP vector. That is written here. What is OL? If you see, before that, any vector can be written as product of two things. Any vector can be written as product of two things. That is, any vector A vector can be written as magnitude into unit vector. Magnitude into unit vector. Any vector can be written as product of two things like this. So if you see OL vector, the magnitude, the length is given by cos alpha. So length is cos alpha. Since it goes in x direction, unit vector is I vector. So magnitude unit vector plus LP. LP means this, the value of y. Y value is sin alpha. The length is sin alpha. It goes in y direction, so unit vector is j vector. So sin alpha j vector. So OP is equal to OL plus LP, magnitude into unit vector plus magnitude into unit vector. Similarly, OQ vector is nothing but this. That can be written as OM vector plus MQ. OM plus MQ. That is what is written. OM, if you see the length, see the x value here, cos beta. Unit vector is I vector. MQ. This is MQ means y value. Y value is sin beta. Unit vector is j vector. After finding these two, I am just making scalar product for these two. OP dot OQ. Right. So first write OP vector dot, then write OQ vector. After writing this, just make a dot product of these two. I combines with I, so it becomes cos alpha cos beta. J combines with J, becomes sin alpha sin beta. So cos alpha cos beta plus sin alpha sin beta. OP vector dot OQ vector, one value we found out, that we are taking as first equation. By definition, that is by formula, what is the formula for dot product? Modulus of first vector, modulus of second vector, cos theta. Here theta is nothing but alpha minus beta. See the diagram. Angle between OP and OQ. See the diagram for angle between OP and OQ. Angle is alpha minus beta. So cos, in place of theta, we are writing alpha minus beta. Since it is a unit circle, radius is 1. So that is OP is 1, OQ is 1. So 1 into cos alpha minus beta. So since 1 into 1 means you just leave it and write only cos alpha minus beta. So see, compare and first equation and second equation. This is also OP dot OQ. This is also OP dot OQ. So cos alpha minus beta is equal to cos alpha cos beta plus sin alpha sin beta. See, LHS are same. So therefore we can equate RHS. RHS is here is cos alpha minus beta. RHS there is cos alpha cos beta plus sin alpha sin beta. So hence we proved this result. So try to understand the diagram carefully. If you understand the diagram, these things are easy. You should also remember what is this magnitude unit vector. Magnitude unit vector. This is dot product. So first equation. Second equation, by formula we are getting one answer. Since both are OP dot OQ, we are saying RHS are equal. So cos alpha minus beta equal to this, which is nothing but the proof, right? We will see the next sum in the next video. Thank you.